What am I living for? And am I truly living a life worth living, as I have dreamed? We often rush into seeking externally, fame, money, status, forgetting that a silent but far more powerful world operates within us, the inner world. Welcome to Inner World Podcast. I am Liam Johnson. This is where you will hear profound sharing about inner self, mindset, and awareness to create a truly peaceful, strong, and awakened life from within. We are in the 21-session journey to elevate inner awareness. Today is session 8 in this journey. Today, I invite you to step into a special journey delivered through 8 core parts, which form the foundation for you to understand and master yourself. Today, we will become acquainted with and deeply understand one concept: karma, destiny. Why does this journey need to be spoken about? Because no one teaches us how to manage the mind. No one teaches us how to operate our emotions, and even fewer show us how to build blessings or transkarma destiny in a scientific and profound way. But it is exactly those unspoken things that determine the quality of your daily life. In the previous part, we explored energy frequency, the silent force that influences your human experience, worldview, and cosmic perception. And today we will go further: how to manage the inner self, transform karma, destiny, and intentionally cultivate a state of gratitude. You will understand that living in peace is not about avoiding problems. It is about standing in life with a calm mindset and knowing clearly what you are sowing and what you are receiving each day. You will see that gratitude is not only a good emotion, but a powerful tool to adjust vibration, to generate cells and shift destiny. A paradox for you to ponder. We invest a lot in learning how to earn money, but have you ever learned how to maintain inner balance so you do not trade health and happiness for that money? We learn to build a personal brand, but have you ever built your inner brand, the one that follows you for life? In this video, you will grasp the complete system of inner transformation, from basic to profound, from merit, virtue, conditioning to karma, destiny, mindset, and daily action. And the most important thing will be revealed at the end of the video, which is how to turn all of this knowledge into a daily lifestyle, so you do not just hear and understand, but live and transform. This content is not just a talk. This is a living foundation, a new frame of reference that Inner World Podcast hopes you will apply to become the deepest, most awakened, and happiest version of yourself. Now let's begin together. Let us review some knowledge from the previous session. Remember this: you do not experience life as it is. You only experience life according to the frequency you are emitting. You see, many people stand in the same situation, live in the same city, and do the same job, yet their outcomes and feelings about life are completely different. Why? Because they are living on different vibration levels. Some wake up with gratitude, step outside feeling at ease, meet others with a calm and compassionate inner self, and the world treats them gently. Others wake up feeling defeated, betrayed, lacking, then carry that state into the day, and unsurprisingly, life responds with stress, disappointment, and conflict. The difference lies not in circumstances, but in your internal vibration frequency. Human structure, the key to awareness. Imagine a person as a 4-layer structure: body, emotion, character, core, self. Body is the outer shell where we engage with the physical world, habits, and behavior. Emotion is feelings, joy, sadness, love, hate, rapid reactions, yet fragile. Character is personality formed from life experience, environment, and upbringing. Core self is the deepest center where true peace resides, the quietest place within each person. And here is the secret. Only when you live from the core self, not obscured by character, not disrupted by emotion, not governed by the body, can you emit a high and stable vibration frequency. Freaking detail experience. Research has measured that. The low 200 is the low energy range where fear, anger, resentment, guilt reside. From 200 to 700 is the high range, with courage, willingness, responsibility, positive attitude. From 700 to 1000 is the very high range with peace, wisdom, unconditional love. Above 1000 is called ultra-high, a state of deep connection with truth, a union between human and universe. And you know, the higher your frequency, the clearer, more peaceful, and more creative your life experience becomes. Low stress makes life stressful. When your frequency falls below 200, you enter a danger zone. Without knowing, everything you perceive is distorted by a negative lens. You easily get angry without knowing why. You easily blame others. And worse, you live in a victim mindset, always feeling wronged. You resent, yet do not understand why you keep ending up in resentful situations. The truth is, you cannot experience a positive life while emitting negative energy. High stress makes life joyful. When you live at a high frequency, things begin to change. You see beauty in ordinary things. You feel gratitude even for difficult lessons. You are not manipulated by external circumstances, because inside you are stable. People living at high vibration are not luckier. They have stronger inner discipline. They do not let negativity linger in their minds. They learn to maintain core self-peace, and from there emit a positive field that transforms the world around them. You may ask, how do I know which level am I? It's simple. Ask yourself. When you think of someone who hurt you, do you feel gratitude or resentment? When you fail, what lesson do you learn, or do you blame fate? When the day ends, do you sleep in peace or with regret? These simple reactions tell you your current level. And if you do not like your current level, you have the power to choose a higher one. But it requires daily practice. You do not need to leap from 100 to 1000. But you need a daily commitment to slightly raise your frequency. Every morning, choose gratitude instead of complaint. Whenever triggered, choose stillness instead of reaction. Each day, train yourself to hold a clearer core self. And little by little, you change your vibration, and when your frequency changes, your whole life changes. Remember, excellence is not a result, it is a way of being. Likewise, high frequency is not a reward, it is a state you choose to cultivate every day. You do not need to pray for luck. You just need to live at the right vibration, and life will automatically adjust to match you. Start today. Keep your core self clear. Keep emotion light. Keep character balanced. Because that is the first step to living in the ultra-high frequency, where life is no longer a worry, but becomes a journey of gratitude, creativity, and peace. In the previous part, we recognized a key truth. Your vibration frequency determines your entire life experience. But the big question remains, how can you raise that frequency sustainably and deeply? The answer is not in trying to push your frequency like a knob. Instead, go inward and start by managing your inner state. Why? Because frequency is a consequence, not the cause. Frequency does not come from saying, "I want to be happy." It comes from knowing how to maintain your mind in the right state. 3 states lead to 3 different paths. Imagine your inner self as an electrical current, and that current has 3 basic states. Negative, when you are immersed in fear, resentment, jealousy, guilt. This state emits low vibrations, attracts negative situations, and prolongs suffering. Positive, when you live with gratitude. Peace, compassion, passion. This state emits high vibrations, attracts opportunities, positive people, and strong life inspiration. Balanced, the calmest place, where you neither overindulge nor rush. This is the center of inner strength. You may ask which state to choose. The answer is balanced and leaning positive, because when you hold this state, everything else naturally aligns, just as a tree planted in the right soil, sun, and water grows without being pulled. According to reliable scientific work, our bodies regenerate nearly 98% of cells within 1 year. And if our inner state remains balanced, leaning positive, then each regenerated cell carries a new life message, a message of peace, strength, and vitality. Do you know what that means? It means after just 3 years of living with a positive inner self, your body can transform completely, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, resilience, and even appearance. Here is something interesting. Many people seek health through food, exercise, herbs, but they overlook the core factor, the inner self. An anxious mind can destroy even the best nutrition program, but a mind filled with positive energy can heal hidden wounds. That is why I always emphasize this. If you want to change your body, start by changing your inner state. Do not wait for high frequency. Rather, maintain the right state. Many make the mistake thinking, when my frequency gets high, I will be happy. But in reality, it is reversed. When you maintain the right inner state, your frequency will automatically rise. You do not need to force yourself. You do not need fake positive thinking. You only need to return to a balanced state and choose a positive intention. When someone hurts you, instead of reacting, pause and ask, what do I want to sow into my inner self now? When you fail, instead of blaming yourself, quietly ask, what am I learning from this experience? When you face adversity, instead of resisting, observe and choose a clear attitude to overcome. These small choices, repeated daily, will become the foundation for a strong inner self and an ever more refined vibration frequency. Let me remind you again, the inner self is not just fleeting emotions. It is the map that determines where you go, who you meet, and what you experience. A negative inner self leads to anxiety, pain, and suffering. A positive inner self takes you to where you truly belong, a full and meaningful life. You cannot control others, but you can always choose your inner state. And when you choose correctly, the world begins to change in ways you never expected. Nothing changes if the inner self does not change. But when the inner self changes, everything can begin again. And the most wonderful truth is, you can choose again right now. Start with the simplest thing. Keep peace in the mind. Keep compassion in the character. Keep gratitude in the emotion. Those 3 states, rotating steadily, will become the foundation for a life not only high in vibration, but also full of inspiration and depth. I firmly believe that someone who masters the inner self is someone who is actively shaping their destiny. We have discovered that vibration frequency is not achieved through external effort, but is the result of managing the inner self by choosing balance and leaning positive. So the next step on this journey is to activate your inner world with the engine merit virtue, blessing virtue to transcend all limits. One blessing virtue and transformation power. A blessing virtue is the outcome of benevolent, kind acts that create joy, peace, and happiness for others or the community. It leans toward acts of goodwill, generating joy and support in current or future life. If you cook a loving meal or care for a loved one, you create blessing virtue. If you support someone emotionally, inspire them to live better, you create blessing virtue for both. Think back to times when you resented, without clear reason, felt pain without knowing why. That is, when blessing is lacking in your inner self. When you lack blessing, your inner world easily falls into negativity, becomes vulnerable and doubtful, and you may not even realize the decline. But when you have blessing virtue, something remarkable happens. You naturally feel gratitude, compassion, and peace within yourself and others. You become gentler, unlocking inner strength that keeps you from dwelling on negative feelings. 2. Merit virtue fueling the bright in you. Merit virtue is creating genuine, sustainable value and depth, helping transform awareness or karma, destiny, for yourself or others. For example, if you help someone realize life truth, transform bad habits into good habits, that is merit virtue. In family, if you maintain peace and compassion, respond calmly when blamed, your children learn gratitude daily and refining your character. A blessing helps maintain peace of mind. Merit is like a flame, fueling, warming, and illuminating your inner world. Each positive act, every small contribution to others, cultivates merit virtue in your subconscious. According to deep programs, inner awareness, or inner vibration state, depends greatly on merit virtue and blessing virtue. Without them, you may learn much knowledge but cannot maintain a balanced, positive inner state. Do you believe someone tries to think well of another but cannot? Yet with blessing virtue, those negative images simply dissolve. When you accumulate enough blessing, you will find resentment no longer arises. You don't need to force forgetting. You simply need peace, compassion, and gratitude for the seed of resentment not to grow. This is the transformative power of blessing virtue. It fades the mental images you hold of others. Ingesting is the key to sowing good seeds. This is an important term, conditioning. It is how you receive information externally, through hearing, seeing, speaking, knowing, then bury it in the depths of your subconscious through character and emotion layers. In that subconscious garden, there already exist many seeds. Consciousness ideas and experiences from countless past lives may suddenly surface. Karma destinies, planted relationships, events over many lifetimes may explode into the present. Fruits are the outcomes accumulated from past actions, thoughts, and feelings. That is why when you sow merit virtue and blessing virtue through good acts and positive thoughts, you are conditioning your subconscious garden. Those seeds will grow toward the positive. Before having conscious awareness, your life is governed by accumulated karma destiny. With awareness, you are no longer passive, but have the power to choose karma destiny by design. You are not trapped in fate. When you sow blessing, you condition a balanced inner state and stop watering negative seeds. You actively rearrange your karma destiny. Not asking others to change, not chasing fame or fortune, but by keeping peace in the mind, protecting compassion in the character, honoring gratitude in the emotion. You are rebuilding life the way you truly want. More than that, merit virtue and blessing virtue, along with balanced positive inner state, will propel you to ultra-high vibration. This level is not reserved for luck, but for deep understanding of origin, for a flow filled with love, and for opportunities of enlightenment. When you reach ultra-high vibration, you live not just for yourself, you live to inspire, to plant good seeds for others. If you are listening to this, you are holding a priceless key, a key that helps you understand inner awareness deeply, not just fleeting feeling. Create peace through merit virtue and blessing virtue. Actively choose vibration frequency and redesign karma destiny as you wish. Let us consolidate a few points. Merit virtue plus blessing virtue create nutrition for the inner self, conditioning positive behavior to sow good seeds. Keep inner balance, leaning positive, without continuing to nourish negativity. That is how you actively rearrange karma destiny from low to high. You do not need to fix the past. You only need to sow seeds today. And right now, as you sow blessing virtue through gratitude, giving forgiveness, you are laying foundations for a life of peacefulness and purpose. We have traveled through the foundational layers, from vibration, frequency to balanced inner self, then merit virtue and blessing virtue. Now our story touches the true foundation of deep transformation, conditioning, a powerful concept because it explains why you can change your inner world from within. What is conditioning? Conditioning is the process by which you receive information through seeing, hearing, speaking, knowing. Then it seeps through character and emotion layers before gradually being absorbed into the subconscious. For example, when someone studies philosophy or listens to a meaningful talk, when you feel that knowledge, accept it without resistance, then that knowledge has opportunity to accumulate in your subconscious, or you have conditioned that knowledge into your subconscious. Conditioning is planting good seeds into the subconscious. Those seeds, over time, when watered by merit virtue and blessing virtue, will sprout and bloom into lasting inner transformation. We liken a person's subconscious to a garden of seeds determined in fruit. In each person's subconscious is an unconscious garden filled with three types of seeds: consciousness, ideas, and experiences from countless past lives that may appear unexpectedly when your mind is truly free. Karmic ties, connections with people, events, and situations over many lifetimes that express now with a feeling of familiarity. Fruits, the future outcomes of seeds, and ties, which are what you will experience. Understanding this means you have grasped the key of the journey. You not only sow seeds of merit, virtue, and blessing virtue, but also recognize you can block the negative seeds from continuing to be watered. Then continue transformation, eradicating bad karma, sowing good karma. Some spend their lives unaware why they are always stressed, but just one pause, noticing resentment or worry. They realize in their subconscious are seeds that have not been planted but were tended daily by resentment. When they bring awareness, and the conditioning journey truly begins when they stop watering anger and replace it with gentle thoughts of gratitude. Each negative seed gradually dies, making way for new seeds of giving gratitude. And when those seeds grow, they create new trees of true peace. Connector and Julia were truly a karmic effect happening right within your inner world, not waiting for next life, but as a result of interaction among awareness, inner state, and time. When you choose conditioning, you are signaling to the universe your intention to exchange for another life living in the way you truly want. You do not surrender to fate. You set inner ethics and beauty as your foundation. You sow seeds of merit, sow seeds of gratitude, sow seeds of reverence. And one day you will not realize you have stepped into a new life you have self-created, not just self-acknowledged, until your entire subconscious garden, from consciousness, karmic ties to fruits, is aligned with knowledge and positive state. You will truly live in ultra-high vibration. Previously, in Part 3, we understood blessing, virtue, helps maintain peace of mind, and merit, virtue, nourishes inner light. Now comes conditioning, so that seed does not remain a fleeting factor, but becomes a deep process of creation. Consider someone sharing a meaningful philosophy on a podcast. If you only listen briefly, it's just a phrase. But if you condition, you memorize it, question it inwardly, repeat it. You are planting seeds in your subconscious. This is very important knowledge in today's content. It is the key, the foundation, helping you self-condition, helping you achieve what you truly desire in life, with the vibration frequency you desire. No need to act immediately, nor reprogram your thinking overnight. Begin with, each morning read a motto. Then condition it by sitting quietly for 5 minutes and understanding it. When you meet someone irritating, pause, breathe, and lower the negative electromagnetic frequency. Choose a thought of gratitude and take a lesson. When you notice yourself judging, ask yourself, why am I feeling this? What seed do I want to plant in my subconscious? Those small questions are the language of conditioning. You face a choice. Continue living in a chain of reaction where you are the victim, or proactively create a new life, living by conditioning inner self-merit blessing. Remember this, nothing changes if the inner self does not change. When you condition enough, your inner self will transform, and your life will become living proof of ultra-high vibration. We have journeyed through vibration, frequency, inner state management, merit virtue, and blessing virtue, and the final tool, conditioning. Now, as on a journey to the hilltop we see the panorama, we recognize that karmic pattern is not a barrier, but a foundation for you to reconstruct your life as you truly desire. What is karmic pattern? Karmic pattern is the concept referring to the totality of all experiences, circumstances, people, and outcomes in a person's life. It is formed from accumulated awareness, behavior, emotion, and choices from the past. Simply put, karmic means the seed you have sown. Pattern means the fruit you are reaping. But most importantly, you are not just the inheritor of karmic pattern. You also have the right to choose and transform it. For example, you once treated a loved one poorly, sowing cold indifference. A few years later, you feel lonely and uncared for. That is the fruit of relational karma. But if you begin to sow love, care, learn to listen, you are creating new karma and shaping your future pattern. Or someone lived recklessly, no exercise, excessive eating. Later, they face illness. That is health karma. But if they wake up, change lifestyle combined with positive inner state, they are creating good karma and can transform their life pattern. A harmful misconception is that destiny is already set, fixed, unchangeable. The reality we have discovered is that before thought, life is governed by total karma. But once thought arises, you are still conditioned, but you have the right to re-choose the total karma you want. This is a profound truth. You are not bound. You are empowered to change and master your life. This is the formula. No destiny leads to karmic pattern from lap, leads to the right to choose karmic pattern. You lose no right. You are not forced to accept. You simply have not realized that you can turn the page in your life story. Look back, we have aggregate karmic consciousness ties and fruits from the past. It determined when and where you were born, your family, what you learned, and who you met. But once you have thought, you cannot discard it. So what do? We choose again how to sow, adding merit, blessing, virtue, and conditioning, instead of allowing a negative seed to sprout in suffering. We identify and stop it. We condition, nurture the positive seeds so the subconscious garden is restructured. This is how you rebuild life. Previously, we saw that conditioning is the process of planting good seeds in the subconscious. It is how you actively water positive karmic pattern. When you have thought, you do not let yourself be a product of circumstances. Instead, you become the producer, the editor of your life's masterpiece. A single positive thought may not change you immediately, but if you repeat it daily, if you sow it through grateful thoughts and water it with merit each day, then you are designing your karmic pattern. It is not something that happens by chance, but something you lead from within out. When you start observing inside, you will face the dark parts in your subconscious. You feel bored, irritated, skeptical, because they have long existed unnoticed. Yet this is a great opportunity. If you continue nurturing negative reactions, you are feeding old karma. If you block them with awareness and replace them with positive thoughts, you are planting new fruits. The choice in that moment determines how you will construct your karmic pattern. The choice from within will cause the world to shift. You may ask, how can this be proven? It's simple. Look at those who have spent 3 years living in balance, managing inner state, conditioning positive thought. Their lives change, clearly, health improves, relationships deepen, career opportunities open, all beginning from inner choice, then radiating outward. You are one of them. You do not need to wait for a miracle outside. If you choose, conditioning and even small, you are telling the universe who you are. You are laying the groundwork for a new karmic pattern. There are moments when you look at someone and feel at ease. There are moments you feel anxious, but choose to pause and breathe deeply. That is, you in a state of inner awareness. When that happens, it is no accident. It is you, the one with thought, choosing a new karmic pattern. You choose to respond with peace. You choose to plant seeds of gratitude. You choose to live with the demeanor of one who is rich in inner attitude, not just material wealth. This journey that you are reading is not just a sharing, it is the map, the key, the mirror, helping you see yourself and see the opportunity to actively transform karmic pattern every day. Inner World Podcast embeds passion in every word, not just to speak, but to awaken your inner power. If you apply it, you do not just listen, but you live by the inner power you create. The 5-part journey we are on is a logical sequence, from frequency to inner state, to virtue, to conditioning, and then to karmic pattern. You can look back and see each step leads to the right to choose. The right to choose how you vibrate, how you live, and how you shape karmic pattern. One day you will realize you are not living someone else's life. You are living the life you choose. You are the author, sketching each page of your life's book. Let us reconfirm some points from this section. Karmic pattern is not destiny. When you have thought, you have the right to re-choose karmic pattern. Condition, merit, virtue, blessing, virtue are tools you use to reconstruct inner state and rebuild life. In the moment you choose awareness, you are saying, I want this life in the way I create from within. You do not need to fix the past. You just need to sow again today with a new mindset. And today, through this section, you are sowing new seeds. Let go of old seeds and persistently water seeds of positive consciousness daily. Now we move to the next section to help you become truly abundant. We have explored deeply karmic pattern and each person's ability to choose, from mind and virtue to blessing and conditioning behavior. Now, like climbing a summit, we survey the panorama where inner transformation converges. Becoming wealthy in mindset? What does it mean to be wealthy in mindset? Wealthy mindset is not wealth in assets, but wealth in inner peace. It means you maintain peace in the heart, compassion in character, gratitude in emotions. When you sustain all three states, you become like an inner garden, carefully nurtured, always verdant and vibrant. You are not easily swayed by outside circumstances, nor easily affected by negativity. When we do not value gratitude, we cannot have compassion. When we lack compassion, we cannot have peace, and lack of peace leads to ingratitude. This is the downward spiral many people fall into. But when you learn to gently rotate among these three states, you do not just remain stable, you move forward. Remember, the wealthy-minded person cares for and prunes the garden, and when the time arrives, each tree bears fruit. This wealth does not come from accumulation, but from continuous transformation. When you face someone who disturbs you, instead of judging, choose a gentle thought and compassion. When you pursue a difficult goal, instead of fear, maintain peace to stay firm. When you receive something good, you honor it with gratitude and do not take it for granted, because what is taken for granted breeds resentment. Ultra-high vibration is the result of wealthy mindset. When you live with this mindset, you reach the ultra-high vibration frequency described earlier, the level where deep connection between you and life exists. That is not luck. It is the result of years of conditioning, virtue, blessing, and inner choice. This truth is supported by subconscious science. When cells regenerate over 3 years of balanced living, they become not only physically healthy, but also infused with peaceful energy from the heart. You don't just live, you shine from within. Think of someone without many material possessions who lives peacefully, gratefully, and accepting. A person with good relationships, stable health, and simple joy. They are the embodiment of wealthy mindset. Not because they own a lot, but because they do not let their mind be controlled. They manage their internal vibration. That is true abundance. And I call it inner strength space. Wealthy mindset can teach you to live freely. Living freely doesn't mean isolating from the world, but living in tranquility. You can form deep connections, but you are not bound by outcomes. You don't live under pressure, expectations, controversy. You live with yourself, with awareness and stillness. In this journey, you truly become the creator of your energy, not someone reacting unconsciously. Do you know many people spend their lives striving at work, yet look back feeling fatigued and empty? Meanwhile, simple, humble people glow from serenity. They do nothing extraordinary. They simply live true to their mindset. And this is not luck. It comes from choosing between negative, positive, and balanced daily. They continuously condition to maintain the positive state, to plant blessing, to cultivate inner wealth. If you have followed from the beginning, you are on the right path. You have acquired a template that helps you understand frequency, manage inner state, plant blessing, condition karmic pattern, to living with a wealthy mindset. Turn knowledge into action, and action into profound transformation that supports you in experiencing a life of autonomy and meaning from within. Reflect on what you can choose. You cannot control circumstances, but you can control frequency. You do not have to endure destiny. You have the right to choose karmic pattern. You do not need material possessions. If you have wealthy mindset, you have enough to live fully. You stand on the top of a hill. You can see the path you have walked. And ahead you see a way to a rich life, not because of what you have, but because of who you are. Wealthy mindset is the destination of this journey, and it is also the beginning of new life, where you design frequency to remove old karma and plant new heart virtue. Start today. Ask yourself, today, do I choose peace or resentment? Do I choose compassion or judgment? Do I choose gratitude or indifference? Each small choice is a brick building the road you call wealth, a mindset. We have journeyed through a mindset pathway from vibration, frequency, inner governance, merits and blessings, conditioning, karmic destiny, to the destination of a rich mindset. But staying there is like a captain with a compass who never sails. The point I emphasize in this journey is daily action, carvelized. Excellence is not an event, it is a lifestyle. Deep inner awareness does not come from one sharing session or an inspiring moment. It arises from repeating small but conscious acts every day. That is why you need an action plan, not only understanding, because if you only understand, you only know what you did not know before. Try repeating 3 foundational actions daily. Start with 3 simple but meaningful habits. Morning, upon waking, spend 5 minutes in stillness. Breathe slowly. Focus on a gratitude thought. Plant seeds of merit and blessing at the beginning of the day. When facing difficulty, remind yourself with 3 inner questions. Do I choose peace or resentment? Do I choose compassion or judgment? Do I choose gratitude or indifference? Instant choices help you choose. Awareness. Leaving note down 3 good things from the day, no matter how small. A smile, a kind word, a small experience. This is an act of appreciation, sowing seeds of a wealthy mindset. Each such action is not a heavy task, but a way you plant seeds into the subconscious garden. Each morning you sow gratitude. Each small decision you sow peace. You are conditioned by your packet. If you do not invest, you will not receive. And if you practice daily, you will soon see a large tree. Quality of life differs. Not every plan you write succeeds immediately. You need to check your inner state. Do you feel calm? Are relationships lighter? Are things flowing more smoothly? If not, adjust your habits. Perhaps add a few minutes of meditation. Add an affirmation or reduce a habit fueling negativity. This is the most effective way to maintain an inner state that is balanced and positive continuously each day. Some people hold on to a negative image of someone, but with blessing, it naturally fades. The miracle is when you condition balanced living, you do not need to forget. You just stop conditioning that pain daily. The image fades until it disappears completely. That is clear evidence that small daily actions stop focusing on negativity and shift to compassion, appreciation, gratitude are the force behind profound change. The key here is identify, survive. 3 steps to self-insure. Observe, detect your inner state while in the action. Identify, determine whether it is negative, positive, or balanced. Recondition, adjust promptly by choosing a new thought or positive habit. This process is as powerful as water eroding stone. Persistent daily water, though soft, changes the original stone forever. This is a core topic of Inner World Podcast, helping you bring the inner from knowledge to action, turning life into an art piece each day. Not adding, but shedding negative seeds, so your mind is always a beautiful, fruitful garden. And if you are still present, make excellence is a lifestyle, real, in action, daily. Establish simple habits with 3 key moments. Check your inner state. Identify the state and adjust continuously. In each moment, you can plant a seed that leads to high-frequency merit and blessing, all reorganizing your karmic destiny. Remember the phrase, "You do not need to fix the past." Only sow the seed today with a new state of mind. By daily action, each small seed, you are planting a whole, rich, and complete inner garden. And now, if you are still listening, I believe it is not by coincidence. Maybe you have gone through some turbulence. Perhaps you have once asked yourself, is there something deeper behind all the events happening in this life? And today, through each layer of inner awareness, you have found part of the answer. But understanding alone is not enough. Because life will not change just because you know what is right. It only changes when you act consistently on what is right. And that is why I hope you do not rush to like, do not rush to share, and do not rush to subscribe. Do it only if you truly feel this value is worth spreading. Please consider it, because each of your clicks is not just a number, it is a seed. A seed planted into the algorithmic system that helps YouTube distribute this video to someone who may be in the darkness of their life and could find light. A seed that could awaken a person, a family, a generation. And if today you have felt illuminated by any part of this series, then become the next light for someone else. Like if you find value, subscribe if you want to stay on this path. Share if you have the courage to spread something meaningful. I am Liam Johnson, and you are listening to Inner World Podcast, a place that helps you return inward, stay grounded from the roots, and live more deeply each day. See you again in the next part of the journey. Always remember this. When you turn inward, the world begins to change.